Hey, there we go. We're live. Welcome to episode 11 of the Dumb Marketer Show.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Luke.
How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going. It's been a week.
It has been a week.
It's been busy, busy, busy.
Yeah.
Uh,
We've been jibber jabbering, so we kind of got everything off of our chest. So now we can talk like serious stuff about our businesses, right?
yeah, for sure. Yep, and we got a great topic for today.
We do. What is it?
Oh yeah. Maybe we should lead in with, first of all, I was going to mention this earlier and I didn't. We have to celebrate. You made another sale.
Got a sale.
I mean,
Yeah.
incredible.
I'm a
Incredible.
happy man. I love sales.
I know, but I mean, just like that's two within the span of like the last 2 weeks.
Google showed me a little love because they know they hurt my feelings over the last 2 years.
Yep. And I told you over text the day you sent me that
In
maybe
all
it's
caps.
these crawlers
In all caps. Yep.
in all caps. I was shouting at you. Uh, maybe this is why Google's been scouring your site endlessly.
That very well could be. I mean, they are. So I have 45,000 pages on my site
Wow.
to cover all the variables of my products. Okay.
Yep.
So that's why it's been taking so long. And they are scouring all of it. So all of the ecom. That's what the focus has been, it seems like. So I'm guessing the Google merchant part of their business
Mhm.
is where they're putting a little more focus now, especially with everything they're doing on search, everything they're doing online. This is an area where they could probably jump up some revenue is to make sure that they're actually crawling everything that's available to them to sell, right?
Hey, real quick question. Is any of your supply chain affected by the tariffs?
Not yet.
Okay, so I mean, marketing
Mm-hmm.
advice.
Yep.
Promote the fact that your products are not subject to tariff increases.
I would love to do that, but as soon as I do, it could change. So they've got us in a hold pattern
Well,
right
then you
now.
just take it down.
Yeah, I could.
I'm just saying.
I think it's a brilliant idea. I'm not going to do it because I'm trying to focus on other things right now.
True. Yeah, true, 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 true. Yeah. Yeah, making sales isn't your top priority right now. That's just kind of a
What's an
nice little
add-on?
cake. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. So that was number one. Well, congratulations on another sale. That's awesome to hear.
Thanks for the call out.
Number two, um, you last time we spoke, you were 150 drafts deep on your big content project.
Yep.
Did you finish that? Did you get all
Yep.
220?
Yeah, there were 222 planned. I ended up with 217, and yes, I got all of those rough drafts done.
Okay.
Those were done Wednesday evening, and I started building the first draft on Thursday.
Okay, great. Okay. Excellent. Good.
Thursday?
So,
Maybe it was Wednesday. I don't recall.
okay. All right. So you're progressing very nicely.
Yeah, I'm moving right along.
Yeah, you are. Um, okay, but then
I love how you're walking into this. This is great.
yep, no, I'm building up to the story here.
I love it.
Okay, so then
Bob's an outstanding storyteller, by the way.
I am. I'm a marketer. I love to tell stories.
This is why our conversations take forever.
It's true. Okay, today we're a little time box, so my
Yes,
storytelling has to
that's
happen.
right.
Okay, so then hit a little. You saw a little post on LinkedIn that made you kind of second guess, not second guess, but just be like, "Oh, am I missing a step here?"
How do I break it down? I'll tell you a little story. Um, so I was grinding these drafts to get them done
Yep.
every minute, every day, for just short of a week. Um, and literally the morning after I got them done, I was feeling really good about myself. And we're talking 200 plus
Mhm.
blog post drafts.
Yep.
Okay. I saw this post on my LinkedIn profile from a guy that apparently
Yep.
have met, and he is Marcus Sheridan,
Yep.
and he wrote all text posts, no image, no nothing. The fact that I stopped to read it is strange, but the opening paragraph says the days of writing 800-word blog posts that get results with text only and a stock image are done, dead. Hasta la vista, baby. And I was thinking, you know what? That's pretty much what I have done with blogs forever. And I know that times have changed because of the AI. And I know that we're moving to a format that's going to require multimedia to be used. And in reading through his recommendations, and we'll get there, I agreed with
Mhm.
all of them. They're all legitimate recommendations, and any marketing professional would agree that these are important to build into blog content going forward.
Yep. I'm looking at the post too. Isn't it kind of ironic that he talks about how text only with stock images are dead, and his thing is text only?
Right,
I think it's kind of
right?
fun. But it's on LinkedIn, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
So the only problem with that is every marketing professional would wholeheartedly agree with
Yep.
his statement,
Yep.
and would probably say, you know what, these are great recommendations. I'm probably going to try to implement these myself.
Yep.
Here's the problem for solo entrepreneurs who are attempting to do everything for a business and build from the ground up, like us, who have now made a priority of blog content, may not have current assets to incorporate into the blog content that they plan to build, like me.
Mhm.
For example, some of the things he mentions are charts, graphs, infographics, 30-second vertical video recap, interactive calculators, quizzes, or ROI widgets,
Mhm.
speakable schema, which arguably you could probably put into play, multiple real
Mhm.
images, not stock,
Yep.
mini case studies with raw numbers, expert audio clips, less than 60 seconds, with transcripts, dynamic last updated timestamps and change logs. That's not hard.
Yep.
Inline polls or comment prompts, and
Mhm.
contextual embeds. Think slides, quick video explainers, GIF demos, that kind of thing.
Yep.
As I said, every marketing professional would say, yep, put that stuff in there if you got it because it's going to help you perform. No
Yep.
doubt. But I would argue most solopreneurs, small businesses probably don't have those assets created, which means more time to build it out.
Yep. Right.
Guilty, right here.
Yep.
That's me. I
Mhm.
do not have all that. So, me sitting on the toilet the morning reading this LinkedIn post was like, oh man, I'm going to have to spend more time on these posts than I had originally anticipated. I'm not going to get 4 done a week.
Yeah.
There's no way
Yep.
because I'm going to have to do at least a few of those
Mhm.
to improve the quality of the post if I want to rank and if I want to be competitive.
Can we just real quick? I don't want to spend a whole lot of time going to each and every one, but just real quick, give me a quick temperature read on if do you have enough stuff available to you that you could quickly do these things? Like, for example, we did discuss that you have some data. You have data relating to your questionnaires that you have. Because so, like for me, example, I have no data. I have no um, data that's proprietary to me or I own IP over. Like literally, I have none. So if I'm going to show data or charts, it's going to be from another source. You actually have real data.
Yep. So
Um,
that's what I was going to mention.
yep. Okay. Sorry. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here.
Nope. Quite all right.
So that
You're
one you
good.
do have
Yep.
30-second vertical videos. That's relatively easy. That can be recorded on your phone.
Could be.
Okay.
It's just a matter of, putting in the post, right?
Sure, right, yep.
A to Z video, 30-second video is what I'm saying.
Yep, yep. Interactive calculators, quizzes are, I mean, you have a questionnaire. It's not embedded in a post, but I mean, you have that.
Yep.
Um, speakable schema, real images, that's one I have a problem with.
You know,
Just because what am I going to take a picture of a tree? I don't know. Mini case studies with raw numbers. Yeah, I don't have that.
A tree?
I don't know. I don't know. Like,
You're funny.
I don't know. Expert audio clips. That's interesting with transcripts. I don't know what he means by expert audio clips. So can you be the expert or no? I'm not sure. Is he referring to?
Or you could get somebody to be the expert. Yeah.
So that's easy. It's easy to embed audio in your post, right? I'm assuming. Inline polls. There's plenty of third-party services, even free ones out there, where you can do inline polls, embed polls
Mm-hmm.
in your post. So that's relatively easy. Contextual embeds, slides, stuff like that. That's one thing I'm interested in. I have a lot of presentations I've created, like literally presentations I've created that I literally could embed into a post. So these things aren't undoable. They're not doable.
No.
They just take time. That's the point you were getting at.
That's exactly right.
But you do have some of these things. You could do them.
I do.
Good.
Yes. So for example, I'm the first post that I'm doing that I'm building out to publish. Okay. To probably 2,500 words it'll end up being.
What's the topic?
Forgiving person.
Forgiving person.
And this will be a core post linked on my 58 character trait page. Okay. So I need it to be good. I need it to be a good root evergreen post. So this is where I was challenged with what I could do. Anyway, I want to build these posts quickly. I was estimating, 2.5 tops 3 hours of time to get everything. Visuals, graphs, whatever I was going to put in there, I was hoping to get done. Well, it took me, and these are the two things I sent you. These items from the text, right? And I'll get to the specific ones here in a moment. And the science behind the psychology of what I'm talking about. I have to go read legitimate sources to reference anything that I'm talking about and bring it back into my post for, decent backlinks, good references for my readers. So I'm not talking out of my ass and allowing AI to kind of make shit up, right? So I have to justify what I'm putting in the post. That takes time. I was not accounting for that. I was not accounting to do research for that stuff.
Yeah.
So in doing this first post, I did do that. I did go try to find the right sources. I did go to try to find the right references. So that took another probably 30 minutes I was not accounting for to go check all this stuff. And the other thing was the data is a real thing that I have available based on the questionnaire results that I get from people. I had, for this particular post, over 300 people that had forgiving as a top trait. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I broke out that subsegment of the 1,400 that I have. And I said, okay, now give me, I think I said 5 or 10 of other traits that these people share that are also ranked quite high for their dominance. And I got a list. So I could use that data as legitimate data. Yeah. Problem with it was getting the data clean to a point where I could share it on ChatGPT or Claude, then putting in the Claude so it actually came out with the results that I needed, right? So that was time I didn't account for. I wasn't looking to do that, although very important and legitimate content for my blog. I didn't plan for that. Mm-hmm. So as I was sitting on the toilet reading this, I was like, God damn it. I didn't plan accordingly. I didn't have everything accounted for from a time allocation standpoint. I don't think I'm going to be able to get 4 done a week. That's where my concern came into play. So I think I'm going to have to slow down a little bit. And I think I'm going to have to try to at least do, and I'll reference them specifically, for example, reference the data that I have, if I can, to justify the post.
Yep.
I don't know if I'll do the 30-second video. I don't want to play that yet. because that's still coming. Because again, I'm going to be doing recording later, and I'm going to move to the YouTube channel later. So that will be integrated later.
Yep.
That's already accounted for.
Okay.
Interactive calculators, quizzes, or ROI widgets. I mean, I have the questionnaire I can link to. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not going to be featured in the post. That's
Yeah.
kind of like a secondary. Speakable schema. I think I can work that in. I have to do a little due diligence to learn it first, but once I learn it, it should be pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Multiple real images. Probably not going to get that. I'm not going to do a photo shoot. I'm not going to try to get people to show my products or do whatever. So that's probably not going to happen. I'm going to rely on Unsplash or Upsplash, Unsplash,
Unsplash.
which has pseudo real pictures and
Mhm.
they're free.
Yep. Totally.
Many case studies with raw numbers, kind of like the data. Um, Expert audio clips. I think this is pretty easy. I mean, and you could do like a notebook LM kind of output. You could do, um, you could record an audio clip if you really want to highlight something and feature it in your blog post. It's not a heavy lift. It's just another thing to do. So I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm going to prioritize it or not. Personally, I think it's a smart thing to do because people can get your content while they're doing other things. I think that is very user friendly. They don't have to sit and read it. They can listen to it while they're doing other activities.
And he has here less than 60 seconds. So
Right.
let me
Sum
just
it
say
up.
this, like it's really quick to pick up your phone,
Powerful. Yep.
turn on the voice recorder and say, "Hey, this is Luke and in this post I'm talking about
Mhm.
ABC. And I think it's kind of interesting. Here's why. Here's how it kind of relates to me. I hope you enjoy the post." And maybe just put it
Yep.
right at the top or something. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, but to record it, 30 seconds, export it, embed it in your site. That's literally probably only a couple minutes.
Yeah. It's not a ton of time. It's just another thing to do. That's just
Yep.
it. You
Yep.
know.
Yep.
um, Inline polls, same deal. That you can do that. You could just that's a code. You just
Yep.
put a code snippet on your blog post.
Yep.
But you have to build it, right? What do you want it to be?
Yep.
What are you going to research? What are you going to collect? What are you going to do with it? You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. Totally.
Dynamic timestamps, that's not a big deal. Contextual embeds, this is a little more involved because one, you have to build the content. Two, you have
Yep.
to host the content. You have to figure out how you're going to display it, right? So
Yep.
I think
Here's
there's a
where
little
in
more.
my
I think
plan
there's
I
a little
was
more there, but I think it's a very important aspect of content dev that you can include.
yeah. For some of my content, I was planning already on doing some longer form videos.
Hmm.
Um, and by longer form, I mean, less than 5 minutes. So that was part of my plan originally. So that's where that one fits,
Mm-hmm.
which I think would be awesome. I mean, yeah,
I think you have to do that with your content.
sure.
If
Right.
there's a relevant topic that you've already built out, I think you have to do that.
Yeah. And I have lots of decks I've put together that I would be easy for me to
You've
embed.
kind of done it in a few of your posts, haven't you?
I have. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even did an audio clip in one of mine. I can't remember which one it was now, but
Yeah, I remember you were tinkering with it. Yep.
I actually did an audio clip of one. Oh, you know what I did? That's when Notebook LM came out with that feature, the podcast feature.
Mm-hmm.
Tried it and I fed it my blog post, and I had it spit out that audio and I embedded the audio in the post.
Yep. That's exactly what you did.
Okay, so then at the end here he says, "I know what you're thinking. Dang, Marcus, that's a lot of time and effort.
Right.
I get it and I agree, but it's worth it if you want to dominate UX and AI recommendations."
And that's the sentence that killed me.
Okay, well, this is where I want to jump in.
I know.
I know. Okay, I agree with everything he said.
I can tell
Everything,
that's right.
everything. And I want to do a lot of it. I do. I really do. And I will.
Good?
I will. I will.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so then me and you early this morning texted back and forth.
Yep. What
Um,
did I text you?
so you texted me that yesterday morning, and
Yeah.
I
What did I
didn't
say?
get
I don't even remember.
Yeah, you sent it to me. Yeah, this week has been it's been a train ride. Um, you sent it to me at 8:44 in the morning, and I read it right away, but I didn't get a chance to reply until this morning. So 22 hours later, I replied to you. So I apologize.
Oh,
Uh,
that's all right.
and I just told you that actually, yeah, I know Marcus Sheridan because he's spoken at the conference that the company I work for puts on every year, and he's actually produced educational content for us around marketing and stuff like that. So it was funny because when I opened up your text and I clicked on the link that you sent,
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh my god, it's from Marcus Sheridan!" Like, I can't believe Luke found this because it's just so random. Like,
Right?
and I was like, "Hey, yeah, I actually know this guy." So so I replied back to you. I was like, "Yeah, I actually know him." Blah blah. Okay, then I said, "Yeah, love everything he's saying." And then you said this. You said, when I was building this plan to knock all these blog posts out, I did not plan to build out any of the secondary support content.
Yep.
Examples listed in his LinkedIn post. But now, this is the key line. But now, if I hope to rank anytime soon and be competitive, I'm questioning whether I need to add support content, at least what I have more readily available, like my questionnaire data,
Yep.
which is time I did not plan to spend on these new posts.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So you've heard my rant via text and you've heard my rant via this video.
So I just have a couple of thoughts,
Go.
couple of quick thoughts. Love Marcus Sheridan.
This is
Love
where Bob rakes me over the coals.
no, and I'm doing it with love. I'm
Yes.
doing love. Love Marcus Sheridan. Love his post. Love his post. Think it is spot on. However,
There's a big but.
him, like everybody else, has no clue if those are really the things that move the needle. We
Totally
don't.
correct.
Okay, he doesn't work for Google. Okay, he's a very smart guy, good marketer, and like I said, I agree with everything he said.
Yep.
But in his post, he says if you want to dominate UX and AI, then you have to do this stuff. I'm not debating that it makes your UX look nicer, and you're giving additional content, supportive. You're giving your content in different mediums for
Yep.
users to digest it any way they want.
Yep.
Some people like visuals, so they're going to look at charts and graphs and data. Some people
Totally.
love to watch video. Some people want to click on the audio thing. I don't disagree with that at all. I don't know if it helps with the AI recommendations. We don't know. We don't
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Yes, it would make sense that it does,
Yep.
but I don't know if I would say that that's solidly written anywhere where it's well documented. I don't think Google's come out and hasn't said, hey,
Yeah,
if
no,
you have
it's
video, you're more likely to get AI overviews. Or I mean, I don't think that's been stated, has it?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm not saying he's wrong. He's not. He's right, and those are things we should be doing. But I don't. So this is where I turn to your comment. I don't know if I would jeopardize your plan that you've been executing just because of that post. I would say, like, if it were me, this is what I would do. I would stick with your plan, and then I would go back later and start adding the supportive elements in.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I know because I said it in my text message. I
Yeah.
think I said.
No,
I think.
before you texted, I knew you would say that.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
knew
'cause
you would.
I
I knew
said
you
right
would say, "Hey, don't worry about it. You'll be fine."
at 6:20 in the morning this morning, I said, "Well, if you keep going with your original plan, it's not like you can't go back and add some of those things in later.
Yep.
Not ideal, but
Yep. Yep.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because I feel like with what you're trying to do, I feel like dropping the seeds of your content as soon as possible to get Google to start reading your site again and saying,
Yep.
okay, this guy's got some fresh stuff up here.
That is the priority.
Then at least then you can go back and start pruning,
Yep.
the different things. And I think what also would be interesting is if you drop all this content into Google over a short period of time, you'll see if any of it starts getting any traction.
Yep.
Let's say one out of the 217 drafts that you ultimately end up posting all of a sudden starts to get some attention.
One of them. I
I
would
mean, yeah.
totally
Hopefully,
take his
I hope it's
spot.
217 pieces that get attention, but let's use for simplicity's sake. For let's say one of them is like, oh, that one that's interesting. It's starting to get some traffic. It's starting to rank
Yeah,
already.
right. Yep.
Me, I would say, okay,
What am
now
I
I'm going
learning here?
to prioritize
Yep.
that one. I'm going
Right.
to add some data in. I'm going to add some video. I'm going to add an audio clip.
Yep.
You go take a picture of a tree and put it in there.
3.
Of course, trees, because that's a good photo that nobody can argue against.
That's right. It's
Um,
real.
trees are symbolic of okay, doesn't matter. Okay, but you could go back and like say, okay, well, these are the 20 pieces I'm going to start adding this like additional supportive material to, or something like that. So,
Not arguing you.
like,
I agree.
yeah, because like 10 minutes ago, you're like, well, I was going to do 4 a week, and now I'm thinking maybe I can't do 4 a week, and on my side, I'm thinking, no, maybe do the 4 a week. Don't worry about the supportive content. Get that content up as fast as you possibly can, or maybe meet yourself in the middle somewhere. Maybe you post 4 a week for a month, so 16 pieces. Then you go back and add supportive content to 2 of them. Then you go back and do 16 more pieces and add supportive content to 2. I don't know, like maybe you could meet it somewhere in the middle. I'm not saying like because 217 divided by 4, how many weeks is that? If you did 4 a week, how many weeks to get all the 217 up?
I don't know. 217 divided by 4 is
Uh,
54 weeks.
yeah,
Just over
54. That's a year. That might be too long to wait.
That's what I was planning on anyway.
No, but I mean to add in supportive content.
Yeah.
Supportive.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
I,
I
I
don't
was
know.
planning. I was planning at least a year.
I mean, you have to do what you believe is right. I mean, ultimately, that's a great thing about having your own business. You can make the call.
Yep.
And again, I'm not at all saying anything he said isn't true. I'm just saying I don't know if you want to throw your entire plan away.
No. Entire plan is not being thrown away.
Like, what if you went? Because if you went to, let's say you went down to 1 a week, and everyone you tried to add some of these elements into,
Oh, that's not going to work.
right? Because that'd take you 4 years to get through your entire content.
Yep. That's not going to work. So here's where I'm going. All right.
Yeah.
After beating myself up about this stupid crap. It's not stupid crap. It's real. These are kind of the decisions that small businesses have to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, his last line of his post, to be fair,
Yeah.
is
Let's read it.
remember, your article isn't teaching, showing, and interacting on at least three levels that he's referencing, I believe.
Yep.
You're leaving trust and traffic on the table. Okay. And he offered 10 quote unquote levels. So
Yeah.
if you can do 3 of them, which I did mention, I have data.
Yep. You do. Yep.
Okay. I have a survey.
Yep.
I can learn schema. Um,
You can even do the
I can
last
do the
updated
I can
timestamps.
do the last update, and right there I've got 4. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So technically, without a lot of additional effort, it is more than I had planned. I can do 4 out of the 10 that he's recommending. So instead of being in the mindset of where I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? Now I'm like, this is actually doable.
Okay.
However, I will say there will be time added, and the science part is a bigger piece because I do have to do legitimate
Yeah.
research.
Yeah. Just by the nature of your topic.
Yep. So I would say that because I will be adding time because of what I've spent on this first draft already, by the way, which is ready to go outside of putting images and such together. It's going to take me probably 4 to 5 hours.
Wait. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I just took a picture of the tree. I'll send it to you. You can use that as your image.
Nice. So I put that in my My hero
You're
image at the
welcome.
top.
I help where I can.
Nice job. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome.
It's a very forgiving tree.
It looks forgiving.
So the time allocation is just going to have to take a shift. So I think I'm going to have to go 3 a week. So it's
3 a
going to
week?
stretch. I think so, but
Yeah.
I think I can commit to that. It's going to stretch my timeline out a little bit, but at least it's not going to be forever, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, again, it's like the
Year
more
and a half.
the more seeds you get in the ground, the faster I think the better off you'll be telling Google, like, I have interesting stuff that's here. I was worried. I don't know if worried is the right word. I was curious if you were going to try to go down to like one a week and like just blow them out like super. Because I know you. You want them to be good. You want them to
Yep.
be really good. We talked about
Always.
this. And I think that's the right approach. I was worried that you were going to like try to take as many of these elements as you could in each and every one, and you're only
Just
going to be
go
dropping.
all out. No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to the nines on this first draft. I mean, because, and you make a legitimate point, and I thought about that as well. Is like, I don't know what's going to work. I don't know what's going to rank. I don't know what people really want to read, and until I put it out there, I'm not going to learn that. So
Yep.
I got to give effort to something
Yeah.
to find out what will rank and what won't. So
I almost kind of want to set up a spreadsheet that has 10 columns with each of these 10 items on it.
Yep.
And then I've already got all my content indexed into a spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
And then add these 10 columns with check boxes. And just one by one start checking out, like, yep, I'll add a video to that one, check the box. So I'll add a poll to that one, check the box. Oh, go down to this one. Oh, I've actually got a really good real image for that one, check the box.
Yep.
I think it'd be an interesting exercise to just see, like, where can I check a box off today to make this a piece of existing content even just a little bit better.
That would be very handy for you. I would like to do it as well, but for you specifically, you already have a table set up for your blogs, and you have hundreds of blog posts. So you have a lot of existing content that would be very helpful to know what assets you have on each post. Yeah. It'd be good to track.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe you could build that tool for your small business customers.
There you go. Yep. Hey, for you have a bunch of blogs. Here's the important elements to have in your blogs, and oh, here, by the way, here's a template. You want to know something that's really interesting? Just real quick. I don't want to dig too deep into any of these, but
You can't. You only got 21 or 11 minutes. Sorry.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Yeah, cut you off.
You know, the one that really just irks me is the real images one.
I know. I'm not going to put a lot of time and effort into it because the amount of organizations that have real images is slim.
I know, but that's what makes it all the better.
It's a difference maker. I know.
Everybody's using it. So
this is the other thing that I justified to myself. Think of how many content creators right now are doing these 10. Think about how many they're actually doing these 10 for their content. The number is so small that if even doing the 3 or 4 that I'm talking about is going to give me a higher lift than the vast majority of content creators out there. Yeah. So, I mean, even with what you're doing, you already referenced it. You could do audio, you could do the slides, you could do video, those are even above and beyond the ones that I mentioned that are pretty easy to put into place. So you could probably do 6 to 7 of the 10 for some of your content.
Sure.
That puts you on a whole different plane, dude.
Yep.
Most content creators are not doing this.
Yeah. Yep. Which is what makes things like this always interesting. Every time I read a book, every time I read a book or I read a post like that or I read a blog post, I always get a kick out of how many people like read it and like it and maybe comment on it. But you're right. Not very many people are actually
Not
executing.
going to do anything with it, right?
So if you can just even do a small amount, you will get a leg up.
And that's the thing is like, and he even said that. I mean, if you read the comments in that post, which if you go to this post, I would recommend reading the comments because there's some smart people saying some good things. Um, because this is so new, to your point, right? AI overviews in general and AI responses, right? The new search and search is changing so dramatically because of it.
Mhm.
People really don't know what's going to move the needle. So they're kind of throwing everything at the wall, which is why all types of content are listed in those 10,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Video, audio, visual, it's all presentations, you name it, it's all in there
Yep.
because nobody really knows. So, to his, and I think he even mentions it, if you do at least three,
Mhm.
you're going to be doing far better than a very small portion will be anything like what you're doing. So I just feel like I'm gonna win regardless. One, I'm creating all the content, right? And if I actually put a little more time into these other 10 to make them better, I think I'm gonna be all right.
So, I didn't share with you yet this week, but the revelation I came across earlier this week. So maybe I'll just share it with you real quick.
Oh, and by the way, because I am anal, I really want to come out of the gates with legitimate content. I don't
Yeah.
want to put half-ass shit up and then
Yeah.
come out.
Yep.
So
Yep. I think yep, that's the right approach. Especially for your topic area too. It's got to be good.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so this is maybe the other reason why I'm a little gun shy on listening to anybody that says you have to do A, B, and C to get more organic traffic, blah, blah, whatever. Okay. So I had this epiphany this week, and this isn't what I'm about to say isn't anything that's like earth shattering or brand new, but sometimes you got to tell yourself something for it to be like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what the approach I'm taking now is that when I make a piece of content for somebody, I am putting myself in the mindset I am making it for my existing audience.
yes,
My existing audience.
yep,
So when I make a blog post, you know, for the last 4 years or so, every time I've written something, and I've written hundreds of blog posts, I've done it to try to optimize for search,
yep,
to attract eyeballs.
yep,
I am not going to take that approach anymore. I'm going to take the approach of I'm going to write a blog post for those that already are part of my audience. Um, and that's why I think this stuff is good.
yep,
This stuff is good.
yep,
Like, so I'm less interested now if it plays any role in AI overviews or be included. That's great if it does. Awesome if it does. I'm cool with
yep,
that. But actually, I think I want to make those elements more so for the people that I know are going and reading my stuff.
yep. Agreed.
Um, so let me tell you what happened real quick that had me come across this. I got an email from someone who read a post on my blog, and they referenced in the email that they had.
First off, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was really cool, and I've gotten several of these over the years, which is really cool.
Yep.
Guy reached out, said he's read several of my posts, and enjoys my writing. And he had a question about EOS. Right? Most of the questions I get are usually about EOS. And what stopped me in my tracks is he said, I've read several of your things. And I'm like, okay, so that's a valuable visitor.
Yep.
Not that someone who comes from search isn't valuable. They are. I'm just saying, but really, it's kind of that principle of, and I can't remember who said it, but if like you just, I think it was Seth Godin. You just have a small tribe of 1,000 people
Yep.
that will pay you $10 a month,
Yep. That's Godin. Mm-hmm.
and you're good.
Yep.
You're good.
Just get your
Um,
tribe of 1,000.
yep, just get your tribe to 1,000, and those are the people you should take care of. And everybody
Yep.
else who comes in besides that is great.
Those are gravy. Yep.
But like, that's why I really want to start focusing on my email list, which grew again by 2 more subscribers this week. So just slowly starting to grow. But it's like if you just get that small tribe, then you truly are writing for them.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about the search and battling AI anymore.
Yep. I
Because
agree. I hear where you're coming from.
we've talked about this several times. Like, how are we going to compete with AI now? How is Google going to position search now with AI? How is we talked about Bing a couple episodes ago, and
Mm-hmm.
making sure you're optimized for Bing. I still think you should. I'm not
Yep.
saying you shouldn't,
Yep.
but the ultimate goal shouldn't be that. The
Right.
ultimate goal should be people coming to your content because they enjoy what you have to say.
Yep. That's the important piece is
Yep.
audience first, optimize second,
Yep.
because if you're at least writing for your audience, you know you're going to get at least a reader, right? Whether
Right.
it's your existing audience or a new person, they land on your page, they're going to get what they need to read based on whatever they're coming from. The search, to me, and why I am so adamant about it is because not everybody does it. So
Yeah.
it gives you that one leg up when you
Yep.
can do that.
Yep.
So, and some of it is so simple and people just don't do it.
I almost feel like when you sent me this, and I saw his 90-second vertical video to put on maybe the upper right corner of your post.
Yeah.
So it's just so funny that you sent me this when you did, because on Tuesday is when I was talking to myself about
Stuff.
rethink your thinking about who you're writing for here.
Right.
I'm so worried about showing up in AI. And I just pulled numbers for you a few weeks ago about, oh, I mean, look at all this traffic I'm getting from AI. And I was trying to think of like, oh, how can I double down on that? And
Sure.
I was like, okay, stop thinking like that. Like, otherwise, it's just an endless rat race.
Right.
Um, so then I thought when I saw that post from Mark Sheridan, I was like, oh man, you know what? That 90-second video, if I created one 90-second video that was like hey, welcome to my site, I'm Bob Snagy, but like an intro, and put
Mm-hmm.
that at the top of every single one of my site or my blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody that because I'm getting 300 people a day coming in from
Yep.
organic that are visiting my site. If even 10% of them watch that video, that might trigger them enough to say, yeah, I'll follow this guy. I'll sign up for his newsletter.
Yep.
Because I'm creating this really nice video introducing myself
Yep.
and saying, hey, why don't you send it from my newsletter? Because I'd love for you to stay in touch with the content I'm producing and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a perfect place for like that 90-second video. That'd be a perfect context for that 90-second video.
You're basically replicating what YouTube does for your YouTube channel by giving them an intro video at the beginning of your YouTube homepage. That
Yep.
little
Yeah,
first
that trailer video. Yep.
trailer video. Yep.
Yeah, that channel trailer. Yep.
That's what it is. Channel trailer. That's what they call
Yep.
it. Yep.
Yeah, if I
See?
had that bumped on every single one of my blog posts, I would love to do that and see how many people actually watch the video, because you get metrics on that, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I can see how many people watch that and then see if my email subscribers go up.
Sure.
Thanks, Marcus. Thanks, Luke.
There's a strategy for Bob Stanky to put into play. Guess what he's working on tonight?
No, this is all good stuff. This
You're
is
out of time there, homie. We gotta call it a day.
No, I know, but I could talk forever about this because I just think it's.
Maybe we'll do a part 2.
I always like the idea too of making this type of content. You know what I'm saying?
Me
Like
too.
these little audio bits or short
Audio,
little
video,
videos.
yes, things that I don't normally play in that I really want to
Yeah,
get better.
we get so lost in producing the words and the number of words and like I said,
Data,
keywords.
keywords, whatever. Yep.
Yeah, it's just like I like the idea of going to a blog post and like watching a video, maybe
Yep.
listening to an audio snippet or flipping
Yep.
through a couple slides of a deck that's embedded in it. Like, I don't know.
Yep.
I think it truly is more interactive. He calls it interactive. It is more interactive.
Yep. I think that's what users really want. It's been
Plus,
slowly, let's be honest, it's been slowly evolving to this point. I mean,
yeah,
this is not like new. People
no,
have been saying you got to start doing this with your content
yep,
now.
yep,
And that was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So
yep, totally.
this is not a new concept.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't know why it just rattled me so much. I think it was just because I was so dead set on getting this number done. I
Yep.
can be flexible. I can
Mhm.
still produce solid content and still get a good amount done.
I love the direction you're going. I love this. Thank you for sending this post. Great topic for today.
Wanted to make sure you and Marcus stayed, in touch.
I mean, in Marcus, we trust in this one. I love
You
it.
know, you could tag him and tell him that your friend Bob Stanky is talking about you.
Oh, we're gonna tag him. We're gonna share this on LinkedIn. We're gonna tag him.
There you go.
I hope he sees it. Um, okay, so you have new content going up this week,
Yep.
this coming week.
Yep.
Okay, so everybody should
At
go to
least
True
they
Identity.
post. If I really get diligent, because Mother's Day this weekend,
Sure.
I'll probably get one up.
Good. Okay. So trueidentity.com. You should go check out some new content this coming week.
FromIdentity.com, baby.
That's awesome. You can find me at bobsangy.com. I'll try to put up a couple pictures of trees. Um,
Yes, I mean mine too.
for every single one of my blog posts, I probably could tie back some analogy to a tree. I'm sure.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you could use that picture every time.
They should also like, comment, subscribe to this
Make sure you get
video.
a picture of your neighbor, by the way,
I will. Yes, absolutely.
hugging the tree.
I will absolutely do that for sure.
Good.
Um, like, comment, share the video, subscribe to the channel. We gained a couple more subscribers in the last couple weeks, which is
Did
awesome.
we? All right,
Yeah,
sweet.
we're like up to 8 now.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Tell your fellow employees, thank you for following us.
Yeah. Well, or family members.
We're family
So
members.
yeah, it's all good. I think that's it. We're a
I
wrap
think
on
that's it.
11.
Well done. Thanks for dealing with my insecurities.
No, and I wasn't trying to browbeat you too much. I want to see you publish content.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
That's what
Game on.
I'm most excited about. So
I feel much better now. Thank you for letting me lay on the couch and talk.
it was very enjoyable. I loved it.
You take care of yourself, Chief. We'll talk next time.
Yeah, check you later. Peace
Bye,
out.
y'all.
Peace.